Hi, my name is Tom Buckner, and I'm going to be interviewed on this evening's Videowave program. I'd like to let you know about a concert I'll be doing in New York at Merkin Concert Hall on the 13th of May, in which I'll be premiering the works of 6 contemporary composers, including Blue Jean Tyranny, Robert Ashley, Peter Gina, and others. I can't name all 6 in this amount of time. Thank you.
Hello, Videowave watchers. I'm Dawn Eden, and today I have the honor of interviewing someone who I normally wouldn't be interviewing, because normally I talk to rock personae, but this is Thomas Buckner, not of the group Buckner and Garcia that did Pac-Man Fever in 1982.
My goodness.
But right. But Thomas Buckner, the singer of Robert Ashley's beautiful operas Improvement and El Aficionado. Thanks for coming down here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Although I guess it's kind of normal that you would come down here because this is your place.
Well,
but you're...
Thanks for having me on the show.
Now, tell me about this new recording of Improvement. It's just been released on CD on None Such. Was this done in the studio or like live concert?
Well, it's a studio recording. There's a lot of processing. Actually, the composer can answer more questions about how it was made than I can. But it's a recent release of an opera that we've been touring for the last couple of years.
Now, how long has your association with Robert Ashley been? Because I know that it's been a very important partnership for both of you.
Well, we started working together, I think it was in 1983 or 84, if I recall correctly, almost 10 years ago, when I moved to New York from California, where, ironically enough, both of us had both been based before in California, but we didn't work together then. We knew of each other's work. And started out working in his opera Atalanta, and then went on to El Aficionado and Improvement.
Did you find when you met that the two of you had independently come upon many of the same ideas and beliefs as far as...
Well, it's interesting because he's the composer and I'm the singer, but as a singer I did a lot of improvisation in my life throughout my career, and his operas do encourage the performer to engage in what he calls spontaneous musical invention. And I was able to adapt my style to fit in with what he was already doing in a way that was interesting to me and turned out to be interesting to him as well.
Does that mean that with an opera like that, every performance would be different?
Well, each opera has different degrees of improvisation, but that's definitely true with these pieces. In some respect, they're different. The text is written by the composer and it's set. The rhythmical structure is set, the harmonic structure is set, but there are places where one is able to...
You have latitude.
Yeah, and usually it has to do with with sort of singing in a manner of speaking and letting the declamation of the text or the words influence the melody line.
That's very interesting, because one thing that I find as far as traditional opera is that what was apparently originally supposed to be sort of conversational got more and more structured by the rules of what had been before, till it got to be as far from normal conversation as it could be.
Yeah, I think from what I knew about early opera, which I sang when I was younger, there was a great deal more freedom in the recitative part of the opera. You would ornament the lines, that the composer would write down every note, and everybody understood the style. And so what we're doing is developing a style based on our own vernacular speech and our own musical experience.
Almost like a sort of new tradition. I know that's an oxymoron, but you know what I mean.
Well, in any piece that improvisation is involved in, I think if you do the piece over and over again, you begin to develop a way of doing that piece that becomes the character of the piece.
You find the flow. You find like this heart of the...
And I think that the music is I mean, after all, it is an opera, so what you are is a character. And then the character has his way of doing things. So you begin it in the piece that we're going to be showing on on this program, the excerpt from El Aficionado, the composer wrote all the instrumental parts and wrote the words and wrote a melismatic melody that begins each line. But when I get that means it's changing notes without all the same syllable. And then when it comes to the text, I'm free to move away from the pitch that the text lands on to whatever notes I want to sing. But they're not supposed to be just arbitrarily chosen. They come from the way you might speak the line.
So that way you can have your own imprint, your own like personality.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot more interesting to do and more creative. It's similar to the way anybody with style sings the pop music that you guys are more familiar with doing. Yeah.
What's the name of the piece that we're about to see a segment of right now?
Well, the opera is El Aficionado. This is a small segment of one of the sections of that opera called My Brother Called. And it is the section of the opera that sets up the story. El Aficionado is about a character that I play who has reason to believe that he may be an agent of the department. He doesn't quite know what the department does, but from time to time he gets called on to perform tasks for them. It's as if he worked for the CIA but didn't know it.
It sounds like The Prisoner. Have you ever seen that TV show, The Prisoner, with Patrick McGowan? Or like we were talking about before the taping, about like a Kafka-esque.
It is a little bit like that. I mean, the fellow doesn't quite know what the purpose of his task is, but he has certain skills that he's been trained in, and occasionally he gets called. He thought, in this case, it begins with the phrase, "Long after I thought they had forgotten."
And
my brother called.
And what an unusual subject for an opera, too.
It's wonderful because it allows the opera to contain thought.
Now, our time is almost out, but before we see this segment, tell me, is this music from El Aficionado available on any CD right now?
At this point, it is not, but we are preparing it.
Oh.
The CD that is available is from his other opera, Improvement.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I've been talking with Thomas Buckner. Thank you so much for coming down, or for letting us come down, and now you're about to see him sing from El Aficionado.